Hey, it's the Illest Podcast, and I am your host, Pierre Sledge, and welcome to the show. I appreciate your time. So let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying this is one of those subjects that YouTube is kind of tricky about and demonetizing things or hit you with flags and shadow bans and stuff. So I'm going to kind of speak in a coded way. And some of this, I'm gonna do my best. So I was having a conversation with a friend earlier today, and it's a friend who I totally understand where they are in life, what their plight is, and what they expect out of their life. You know, some people can't handle that. It can be a little bit too rich for them. But for me, we were talking about, I can't remember how I started because this was a conversation that happened a long time ago. But what the person mentioned was that they were ready to go. And what that means is that they were ready to pass away, to be no longer be alive, is what they were actually saying to me. And I thought, hey, wait a minute now, come on. Don't say that. And you know, the person gave me a little bit more of an explanation of why. And I was like, okay, I accepted it and we moved on. But as I thought about that conversation more in the forthcoming days, I got it. I started to understand where she was coming from. And where she's coming from is that she's a devout Christian. She is a practicing devout Christian who wants to perform in the ways that's explained in Scripture. And therefore, in Scripture, basically, at the end of all things, I guess, you know, you're supposed to be in paradise. That's what I've gotten from Scripture. It's like at the end, you're supposed to be in paradise. And if you're a true Christian, I would think, yeah, that is what you want. It doesn't make sense at first, and it might not register, but it's like when you think of what the end purpose is from Scripture, and that's what I've always gotten. At the end, there's going to be a paradise, and all the people who were assessed at the pearly gates and got to come through will be there living with their king. And that's what I got. So this person clearly feels like, look, it's going to be better than this. Why wouldn't I be ready to go? And I was like, yeah, I couldn't say nothing because it totally makes sense if that's how you go in your faith. And I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to see what other people had as their opinions on this, because it's one of those things that, you know, you could be out somewhere and someone says something like this, and it can kind of floor you, or you just be like, okay, you're playing, aren't you? You know, you don't really know, but I've heard this before, and my reaction at that time was very similar to how it was the first time I heard this. But now I hear the person explain it, and I get it. So now when they say it, it's like, yep, I know, because they feel like we got to be in the last days. The way this world is so over here from where we were, and that, I wouldn't even say that's an evolution, really. That's just where we are. and that's, the distance has been vast, because there are a lot of things that don't seem to matter anymore that I wish did, like morals, like common sense. You know, it seems these are all things that seem like, yeah, they're readily available to us, but I'm not making excuses for anyone. We should be doing, I want people to live in a righteous way. And to me, righteousness doesn't really have anything to do with religion. It's the right thing to do. And that's how I feel we should all be. But at any rate, I want to talk to everybody about this topic. And so I want you to please hit me up in the comments and tell me what your thoughts are, especially if you are a Christian. If you feel similarly, are you ready to go? My thought, as I told him today, I was like, well, maybe you must still have more to do. And we ended on that. So let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments, like, subscribe, and please share. And I'll catch you on the next one. I am Pierre Sledge, your host for the Illest Podcast.